Hey Eric, we're getting ready to move into Phoenix.
Okay.
So, any issues with this system, or how would you augment this system to work in a climate like that?
Well, it's just too hot in general, so you're going to probably have to use shade cloth. You're
Okay.
going to cool it down. You're probably, a system of shade cloth and misters.
Okay.
Keeping it cooler, because you're going to be in 110 a lot of there, and nothing likes 110.
Yeah.
Humans hate 110.
And the soil, I know you said you get the base from Kellogg, but
Well, I can supply you soil. You would have to drive it out. I mean,
Okay.
I don't advocate transporting soil by burning fuel, because I mean the carbon footprint. Really, if we've got to become a zero carbon footprint society, we have to actually understand. Like a Tesla, for example, sounds great, doesn't it?
mm-mm.
It
Nope.
takes 10 years to pay off the carbon footprint of making those batteries.
Yeah.
So the most carbon efficient car on the planet right now is a 1988 Honda Accord. We've already paid for all the carbon, 40 miles a gallon. Great. Nobody wants to drive 88 Honda Accords anymore.
I'll get one.
So the problem is that we're still not looking at our carbon creation and carbon use. And as we keep doing that, more and more is going up in the air. Less and less is being held in plant tissue. Okay. And we're continuing to. We're not making fast enough progress on healing soil. If we did, you could actually not only stop climate change, but you could reverse it. The numbers are there. The math actually works, which is crazy. Of course, if you're the GOP, forget that idea. Climate change hardly exists in the West. And all the farmers there are like, whoa, what happened? How come we're under flood?
Yeah. So just reach out to you for the soil, and we'll figure out a way to get some.
We can do that.
Okay. Thanks. Perfect.
Can you grow healthy plants that heal your body using like vertical gardens with grow lights?
So that's okay. So you just talked about hydroponics. There's the hydroponic question I was avoiding, but you forgot to ask it.
I was about to.
Good.
Yeah. Because when
Okay,
I first
so-
met you, that's what you were doing.
I was
The
starting with
tower garden.
hydroponics because I thought the most incredible solution would be space. Got to have space. No one's got space to grow food, right? Well, what is hydroponics? Hydroponics means soil-less.
Yeah.
So it's like me cutting your gut off, hooking you up with tubes and saying thrive.
Yeah. Not gonna happen.
Same thing with plants. You're getting synthetic chemicals in water and no microbes. In fact, hydroponics has to be that clean, otherwise you get all kinds of problems because you can't balance pH or anything else. So hydroponics is actually, even though everybody's pouring billions of dollars into it because now they can have fresh seedlings and fresh lettuce grown under high intensity grow lights, even if it's LED. The carbon footprint of hydroponics is horrible. And you know the worst crop to grow indoor? Cannabis. You're using HPS, using high pressure sodium lights.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my favorite
Get my
cannabis
from
people
outside.
that are growing indoor are killing us from a carbon perspective. Now you want to know the worst carbon sucker on the planet? Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If you guys are invested in Bitcoin, you're killing me. Because every one of those computers
The warehouses.
is using electricity. And they're using electricity at the tune of like some of these bit mining companies are using more electricity than the city of New York to create coins that are providing no value to anybody. And they're using more electricity than you could imagine, which is basically 80% of it's coal-fired. So you see the problem that us little soil farmers got?
Yeah.
Go up against Bitcoin. It's gonna be tough.
So that's why you went back to soil as opposed to
Well, I
the
couldn't
tower garden.
sleep at night if I didn't. I mean, once I learned all this stuff, I go, God, here you go. And I have an organic background, so soil was easy. But it's also the hardest thing to get people to understand the value of it.
So the hydroponic fertilizer is not organic?
No, it's minerals. So remember, it has to be living and be carbon-based. So a mineral's a mineral. Minerals are not organic.
So you can't duplicate
There's
the
nothing
same
organic.
effect that you get from growing in soil.
Well, you can if you start pouring fish fertilizer and fish hydrolysates and organic fertilizers in there. However, then now it's hydro-organic, which is what I did practice. I did practice kind of a blend of it, and I did incredibly well with it. But I did it outdoors, so I used the sun. So hydro-organic outdoor is almost as good as this. But the problem is, anywhere in snow country, you can't be outdoor. You got to be indoor. And now all of a sudden you've got to rely on coal-fired power plants to give you all that electricity. Which, by the way, you're getting fresher food, of course, but you're getting food that's costing the environment dearly. And so you know, it just depends on what side you're going to sit on. Are we all going to work together here? Probably not. So is climate change going to get worse? Probably. And I'm telling you, you just saw a little storm called Ian roll through part of Florida. It never happened. And by the way, those storms are only going to get stronger. You should see the numbers on that. Guess what we're doing? We're putting a lot more water in the atmosphere. And that's the worst part of climate change. It's flooding farmers across the Midwest. You're going to see famines in the next 10 years that you've never dreamed could happen. And it's going to happen in third world countries like Bangladesh, Bombay. And everybody's going to be looking at each other going, who's responsible for those billion people? My prediction.
If you want to sustain yourself through the winter months, then how do you do that? Like,
Fabulous question. So
with rough?
I fired up a 3,000-foot greenhouse up in Montana, and I did run on natural gas this last year, which was bad from a carbon perspective, but I had to find out, can I grow all of these crops at minus 20? And the answer is I did it. I've got videos of me skating down the street, being blown down the street with Arctic boots on. I mean, I'm literally sliding down the ice on the street, get to my greenhouse, and I forget to put my balaclava on. You know, it's minus 20 and blowing 40 miles an hour in a blizzard. I'm like, I'm a tough Viking, I can do it. Got all my shit on, got out there, holy crap, about 50 yards out, I'm like, my face is falling off. And I get in the greenhouse and I'm like, it's 45 in here.
So you kept it at 45?
I was able to keep the greenhouse at 45 with a single furnace, and it was still incredibly expensive, $900 a month.
Natural gas?
Just natural gas, yeah. So
900 for 3,000 square feet?
Yeah, well, and so it's not, I mean, you can't make any money at it, and you're going to starve, you know, unless you're rich. But I proved that I can grow the food. Now the next step is how do I replace the natural gas, and I figured it out. So we're going to do radiant heat floors, and we're going to have saunas. Because guess what you need in the middle of winter? Freaking sauna on wood-fired boiler, and we have tons of wood up there. So I can use a sauna to boil water that runs through lines on the bottom there and actually gives me radiant heat. I've designed a new pharmacy model that has a shipping container design with a whole greenhouse on top, off-grid, water collection, purification, full solar, $125 a foot delivered. It's a game changer.
Wow, that is cool.
So you can use all these systems now. But, you know, last year, I'm being honest, I just had to see if I could, you know, I mean, I know how to run a greenhouse, but I have never run a greenhouse in blizzards. And it was exciting. And trying to keep people up there working with me was exciting. I'm not going out there. Yes, you are. You're going with me. Actually, the two strongest people I had were two gals. They said, we're going. What are you talking about? Well, they were also Polish. Very stubborn people, very powerful people.
So
Come on, Polish Vikings, let's go. And we did
the
it.
greenhouse, how do you get the sun in, or do you use
You don't have to
lights
get the sun in. Remember, we're all frequency. Okay, so you're going to have less sun. What we get is less heat from the sun, but you're getting all of the you're getting all of the radiation that we need for plants, just a lot less intense. So in the winter months up there, we're only going to have 6 hours of light in Montana at that latitude. In the summer months, we've got 18. So you should see what lettuce does at 18 hours. I mean, my lettuce in my greenhouse, the same age as this big. It's got 18 hours versus 12 down here at 13 or 14. It's like Alaska. I mean, we got 4 months of growing season, but you can grow stuff in Alaska. This is like Jurassic Park. So, it's all pretty fun. So next spring, you'll all be invited if you want to come up and stay with us. It will cost a little money, not a lot, but I'll put you on our farm and we'll surround you with, right now we've got 100 beating hearts on the farm. That includes all of our animals, and we'll probably by the end of this month have 120 or 130. So we'll surround you with beautiful animals. You'll be able to walk on 77 acres undisturbed, not see anything man-made in front of you. Go right down to the Flathead River. If you want to do yoga, I'll have a yoga teacher out there on a big old platform right on the water there. And we'll bring you the best cold pressed coffee you ever saw in your life.
Ooh.
Live a little.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome. So go to Alegria Pharmacy, Alegria Pharmacy, Pharmacy.com, and you'll see some of the stuff we're doing.
Are these all in hand